everyone, it's Suzanne Tucker with Generation Mindful, back for, I believe it's our 7th Feeling Friday. I gotta go check. I think it's number 7. And today we're taking on a beauty. There is wisdom in your listening, and we're gonna turn it into a my, because I want you to say it to yourself. So here's our mantra. There is wisdom in my listening. All right? So as we always do, we're gonna take 5 to 10 minutes to stop what we're doing, at least for the first minute and a half. I want you to pause the multitasking. I know, it is so hard. I promise. Give me about 30 seconds and we'll get back at it. But for just now, uncross your legs, uncross your hands, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your nose, and play those words over in your mind. There is wisdom in my listening. Breathe it in. There is wisdom. Breathe it out in my listening. One more time. Breathe it in. There is wisdom. Breathe it out in my listening. All right. So the first part with any new mantra of the week is to literally just sit with it and breathe it in and play with it. So when I said that, or when you said that to yourself, there is wisdom in my listening. What comes up for you? If you're here live, you can type it in. If you're listening, what comes up for you? Really ask yourself that. There is wisdom in my listening. Because you know how mantras work? They don't just become our inner thoughts because we say them over and over. False. That's how people think positive quote affirmations work. False. What they do is they send out a vibration and they bump into resistance in our body, and they bring our focus and our attention to the places in our body that want to resist these things that we're bringing into life or manifesting. So there is wisdom in my listening. If you say that and you think, no, or I don't know what that means, or I don't feel very wise, or I don't know which way to go, just pause and notice that without judgment. Just notice. If you breathe it in and it feels like, yeah, okay, I could take that on. That feels light and bright. There's wisdom in my listening. I want you to either way think of a place in your life where you feel confused or disempowered or lost, or like you're giving your power away because you're searching everywhere else for the answers. Is there a place like that? Maybe you find yourself Googling a question about parenting, or you're going to bookstores, you're asking your friends. Gathering all that information is super powerful, but I want you to do it in a way where you're applying this mantra, there is wisdom in my listening. So in the second part, we like to break it down, reality versus illusion. The reality of there's wisdom in my listening is that our listening happens on the inside. The illusion is that our listening happens with our ears or our eyes, like we listen by reading the book, or we listen by listening to a friend. But I want to go deeper and get past the illusion that the answers are outside of us, okay? The information is outside of us, but the answers are inside of us. See a wave? Okay, you feel me there? So there's wisdom in my listening takes us past the illusion that the information lives outside of us, brings us into our listening, which is deep and inside ourselves. So now the third part of the Feeling Friday, we apply what we're talking about. And that simple application of there's wisdom in my listening is to pause and listen, to ask, pause, kind of receive the feedback that you're getting in your body, and then to listen. So I'm going to put it to example. I had a mom this week in our group ask about putting her little 2.5-year-old to sleep with nap time. She said she's feeling really angry and frustrated. She's putting the baby down. She's 2.5, almost 3. It's taking her an hour, and she feels in her body resentment, anger, all these feelings. And she's feeling really upset. And so she asked the group, what can I do? What would you do? What did you do? So, right? So before answering that question, we just asked, what do you think? What do you feel in your gut? And it was funny, in the way she asked the question, she sort of answered it. She said, would it be okay to get rid of the naps? Or like, is that too early? But you could hear, even in her question formation, was this idea of maybe it's time to move to quiet time instead of naps. Or maybe, maybe all these different things. But do you ever notice when you ask a question, sometimes you present two things and your heart is sort of rooting for the one of them and you're hoping to get validation from outside yourself. So what I want us to practice this week is pausing, breathing, remembering there's wisdom in my listening. And when you ask your friends or you read the books, try on the different things and feel like what that feels like in your body. So when that mom asks, is it okay for me to let go of the naps? I don't know. How does that feel in your body when you think about that? If you feel utter dread and panic, no, then you might want to explore some other options. Maybe you're looking at your boundaries. Maybe you want to look at quiet time or play in the room. And maybe. But you'll know when you hear it, when you feel it in your body. Don't give your power away. Okay? You are brilliant. You are brilliant. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no perfect, right? It's just from our center. So that's it for this week. There's wisdom in your listening. Okay, there really, truly is. All right, you've got this. So pause, ask, take a minute to receive what's coming at you from your body, and then listen. The way that I apply it with my child is just to ask them when they're having big feelings, sometimes where they feel it in their body, right? Even if they're feeling big time joy or happiness, ask a little kid, where do you feel that? And you will be delighted with the answers. It tickles in my tummy, or I feel it in my head. You can ask it when they're not feeling great, but that may or may not be easy for them. Start with the pleasant feelings in the body and help your child draw some lines between the feelings we have and where they live for us in the body. Okay? That is our fun way to apply There is Wisdom in Our Listening this week with our kids. I will see you next week, Feelings Fridays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time every Friday. And next week, I will see you on the beach. So I'm heading to Georgia with my family. So it'll be a fun Feelings Friday from the beach. Bye, y'all.